course, A Glimpse into the Infinite, was done by Professor Robert Meir Aralik, Professor Eliyahu Rips, and Torah-Matityahu Glazerson. Professor Robert Aralik, known from the University of Glazerson, New York, very famous in his work in pattern recognition, image processing, and Professor Rips also known in the world, his mathematician work, and professor in the Hebrew University. Rabbi Glazerson wrote a lot of books, mainly about the secrets of the Hebrew letters, and working with them together. It's a very interesting book, definitely highly scientific, and proper explanation for each table. So let us see now about the phenomena of the Torah codes before Messiah. We believe clear indications that the discoveries of the codes, which are going more and more, are part of the sign of Messiah. So let us see a very interesting table which proves it. Before showing you a very interesting table, let us see verses from Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 6. What is written there is the following. This is your wisdom and your understanding in the eyes of the nations, that when they hear all these statements, they shall say, surely a wise and understanding nation is this great nation. For what great nation is there that as God so near unto them as the Lord our God is whenever we call upon him? And what great nation is there that the statutes and ordinance so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? Now this is a verse in which, in the introduction of our book with Professor Rips and Aralik, Torah Code, Glimpse into the Infinite, he brings out many explanations about this verse. And some of them are very interesting. And this one of them really, which says the following. This is Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch, who writes concerning the phrase in the eyes of the nation that your science and art of living will form your distinctive feature in the eyes of the world. Amazing. Now what Professor Aralik summarized the following. From the science of calculations, the planetary courses which God put into existence, we may generalize to science of statistics as applied to Torah, something that God also put into existence. The Torah codes are a natural instance of the science of statistics as applied to Torah. We find through the Torah codes that the Torah is statistically most unusual book, different from any book written by man. Forner, one of the explanations, says the verse, about this verse, says the following. This is your wisdom and your understanding in the eyes of the nation, that with it you will be able to answer the non-believers with reason proof. Part of this reason proof is through the Torah codes. We invite the reader to take the delight in statistical amazing Torah code tables and the associated Torah teaching that we are present in this book. So the book is having the Torah code, Glimpse into the Infinite, which we did with Professor Aralik from Glazerson, the University of New York, and Professor Eliyahu Rips from the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. So this is what you are going to see, interesting table, which was done by Dr. Alexander Rothenberg, who himself became Orthodox Jews, keeping Shabbos and everything differently, after seeing this phenomenon. So he made interesting tables. This is not his table, but the same table he did, in which he wanted to show the people connected with the Torah codes. And this what came out. So the first thing what you see here is the name Matityahu, Elia Rips. You can see it's Elia Rips, very small skip. Elia Rips, you can see it, it's only 8 letters. A, Aleph, Rips, and then Matityahu, then Reuven. This is Arabic, his Hebrew name is Reuven. And all of these are next to the word or soften the light of the code, the Bible code. So it came to them. Now, as we mentioned many times, and we showed clearly, and what the Vilna Gaon says, it's brought in Kol HaTorah, there's the phenomenon of the code, which comes so strongly in the last years, indicate that you are very close to the Messiah, and Messiah is going to come. So you have a Mashiach Ba, Messiah Ka, and the verse is exactly the verse which we spoke about in the introduction. This is your wisdom and your understanding in the eyes of the nations. So in the eyes of the nation today, to see the codes here, to see them in Tel Aviv, you see all over. This is interesting. So this is a verse. Ushmartem v'asitem, keep and guard the Torah, ki I chokhmatem, as this is your chokhmah, chokhmatchem uvinatchem is your wisdom and understanding in the eyes of the nation. Very relevant to this time. By the way, the verse here, Basar lecha umsilucha kol dvarim el v'achrit hayamim, speaking about the end of days, when you are in distress and all these things have happened to you, then in the end of days you will return to Lord, your God, and obey Him. So no doubt that the cause helped very much for this. So it's very interesting and significant table with the introduction of this verse. As I said, much more you have in the introduction to the book. In fact, it is, I think, about 20 or 30 different explanations that Professor Aralik brings out. And this is really, as he said clearly, that this wisdom, your understanding in the eyes of the nations, refers to the Torah code.